tell me a little bit about Finding Scoliosis Kindly and your process with being a founder.
Well, I founded the Finding Scoliosis Kindly project in October 2022 when I was 15 years old. I'm 17 years old now, and I founded the project to raise awareness for scoliosis, educate people about the physical and emotional effects of the condition, advocate for early management of scoliosis, and support free scoliosis screening in underserved communities in the USA and Nigeria and West Africa. I was inspired to start the Finding Scoliosis Kindly project by my own diagnosis of scoliosis and seeing the challenges that other kids with scoliosis face. Scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine in which your spine curves into an S or a C shape. Adolescent idiopathic scoliosis is a type of scoliosis that affects kids ages 10 to 18 years old, and the cause is unknown. Adolescent idiopathic scoliosis is a type of scoliosis that I have. According to Medline Plus, adolescent idiopathic scoliosis affects 2 to 3% of children in the United States. And Johns Hopkins Medicine states that roughly 3 million new cases of scoliosis are diagnosed each year. And despite this, when I was diagnosed with scoliosis at 14 years old, I felt alone. It was a really difficult experience for me. I suffered from 24/7 constant back pain, and I still have constant back pain due to my scoliosis. I had to wear a brace 22 hours a day, and I went to physical therapy and yoga every week. But through creative outlets like writing poetry, art, and music, I was able to express myself positively, navigate my emotions, and cope with my pain. Through the Finding Scoliosis Kindly project, I want to be able to help other kids who have scoliosis and give them the same creative resources and outlets that I had to express themselves, as well as educate the population about scoliosis so that way kids can receive the compassion and support that they need to manage their condition effectively.
I'm sorry. You mentioned your own journey and how that inspired you to start this. Talk about how it took you from being in that pain to get to the point that you could feel that you could impact others.
Well, at first, having scoliosis was a really isolating experience. I felt like I was the only one in my class who had scoliosis. It was really hard for me to express what I was going through because I didn't want to burden other people. So a lot of times I would bottle my emotions inside. But when I stepped away from what I was going through and looked around, I was able to find the beauty in having scoliosis and just find happiness despite my pain. I realized that not all trees are perfect and straight. Some are curved like my spine. And adopting this new perspective helped me to see my scoliosis in a more positive light. Meeting other kids with scoliosis was very helpful for me as well, because seeing other people who knew what I was going through was really validating, and I could talk about things with them that were really hard to talk about with my friends or other people.
Amazing. And so you mentioned when you first came in here that you recently had a surgery, and you are in recovery right now, and you're still going out and doing this to help other people. What gets you through that?
Well, I had scoliosis surgery January 9th, 2023, and I had this surgery hoping that it would, fix my pain and help me feel better, but it actually made my pain worse, and I have pain in more places now. So it's been a really difficult recovery experience. I was in a wheelchair for 5 months after my scoliosis surgery. And I missed the second half of 10th grade, but I'm very proud of myself because I worked really hard. I maintained straight A's. I'm grateful for how far I've come. And I think my experience with scoliosis, wearing a brace, doing physical therapy, having surgery has given me more knowledge and more insight that I'm able to share with other families and kids who may not know as much about scoliosis or who may be in the earlier stages of their journey. Just being able to connect with people is one of the most rewarding experiences of all of this.
You are such a young founder. You were just talking about how you were still in high school during this process. How does it feel to be so young and to be able to inspire and lead people here and in Nigeria and so many places?
I think it's a wonderful thing. Just doing this and meeting other kids makes me realize how strong, resilient, and smart, youth are, and we have a lot to say. And despite how young we are, we've all faced things. We've all faced invisible struggles that people can't see. We've all faced challenges, and I'm very grateful that I have a voice and I have a way to communicate my thoughts and communicate what I'm going through to be able to make a positive impact on people here and on people in other countries. For example, my Finding Scoliosis Kindly project includes an educational research survey, which has reached 25 U.S. states and 18 countries worldwide. And this survey assesses the general knowledge of scoliosis in the community and educates people about scoliosis as well. In my project, I have a t-shirt fundraiser in which 100% of the proceeds go to supporting free scoliosis screening in the USA and Nigeria. In summer 2023, despite recovering from my scoliosis surgery, I was able to travel to Nigeria with my family for our annual medical mission, in which I screened 20 kids for scoliosis and spoke to over 300 people about scoliosis and educated them about the condition. My project includes the Finding Scoliosis Kindly Club, which is a club that I founded at my high school in April 2024 to raise awareness for scoliosis and teach students how to express themselves creatively, navigate their emotions, and connect with each other through writing, art, and music.
So the reason we're here today, you have a symposium on Saturday. Tell me a little bit about that.
My name is OlaRose Ndubuisi. I'm 17 years old, and I'm organizing the Finding Scoliosis Kindly Educational Symposium, which will be held at the Henrietta Public Library from 2 to 4 p.m. this Saturday on June 29th. So this is a free public health event for the general public, whether you have scoliosis or not. And I think it's a great opportunity to be able to connect with other people in the community and to learn more about scoliosis. I'm very grateful that Mayor Evans will be attending the event to kindly give opening remarks. I'm also grateful to Miss Mikhaela Singleton, the Sunrise anchor here at News 8 WROC-TV, who will be the MC for this event. So we have a wonderful agenda planned. First, we'll have a poetry and art presentation by me. I'm happy to share that in April 2024, I was announced as the New York State Youth Poet Laureate. And at this event, I will be reading my poem, Scoliosis is a Curved Path to Heaven, which is one of the poems that I submitted that won me the title of New York State Youth Poet Laureate. I will be presenting a seminar about scoliosis to educate participants about the condition and its effects. We will also have a panel of experts who will answer frequently asked questions about scoliosis and educate the audience about the condition. I will be moderating the panel and asking the questions. Our panelists include 2 orthopedic surgeons, a pediatrician, a yoga instructor, a physical therapist, and a mother of a child with scoliosis. At the event, we'll have light refreshments and a lot of fun workshops. There will be free scoliosis screening for kids ages 10 to 18, conducted by pediatric orthopedic surgeons at the University of Rochester. There will be an art and writing workshop for kids led by me to teach kids how to express themselves creatively. And we'll also have a yoga workshop led by a yoga instructor and a physical therapy workshop led by a physical therapist to teach the audience about yoga and physical therapy exercises and how kids with scoliosis use it to manage their condition. If you're able to attend the event, you can scan the QR code on the flyer to register for the event. And if you would like to volunteer to help out at the event, you can visit www.findingscoliosis.kindly.org. And you can learn more about my scoliosis advocacy and the Finding Scoliosis Kindly Educational Symposium at this website, www.findingscoliosis.kindly.org, or you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OlaRose Official.
Perfect, amazing. And you mentioned you mentioned how art is part of this event, and art has been a big part about your journey and your path to overcoming this. Talk a little bit about why hobbies and this kind of stuff is important for young people who might be struggling.
Well, I think having hobbies and positive outlets is a really important thing for anybody, especially kids, because a lot of times people go through things that are like hard to express or hard to tell people about, and it's very important to be able to navigate your own emotions, figure out why you're feeling this way, and have a positive place to release your emotions, to de-stress and to sort of reconnect with yourself. So I'm very grateful that I have outlets like writing, art, and music to express myself. I like using art to express myself because shapes and colors and images can say what words can't. I have a painting that I made in 10th grade when I was 15 years old called My Perspective of Scoliosis, and it sort of tells the journey of my scoliosis and everything that I've been through and how I've overcome challenges emotionally, and it explains where I was before in the past and where I am now and everything that I've learned. I also love using music to express myself because playing the piano and composing music distracts me from my pain. In fact, after my scoliosis surgery, while I was recovering, I didn't have enough strength to go to our piano room to play the piano, and so composing music on my computer was a way that I could still express myself through music positively and stay creative.
Amazing. And you're going to have a lot of speakers here at the symposium, in particular Mayor Malik Evans. Why do you think it's so important to have local leaders here at these events and speaking about these issues?
I'm very grateful that Mayor Evans is coming to this event, and I think it's very important to have local leaders involved and aware of issues like this to raise awareness for something as important as scoliosis. I think raising awareness for scoliosis is important because it can encourage families to screen their children early for scoliosis. It can provide kids with the necessary compassion and support that they need to manage their scoliosis positively. And I think raising awareness for scoliosis also raises awareness for invisible struggles in general, and just encourages us to work together to foster an environment of inclusivity, tolerance, and compassion so we can all thrive and grow positively.
Amazing. And you talk about this as being like an invisible struggle and how important it is to be screened early, and some people aren't screened early. What difference could it make if someone is screened early versus if it's a little bit later?
Well, I can use myself as an example. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 14, after my 8th grade graduation. And before that, I had noticed some symptoms. I had unusual back pain for a few months, and I noticed that I was shorter than my classmates. And so I wanted to play tennis in 9th grade, so I went to my pediatrician for like a physical exam. But my actual pediatrician wasn't there, so we had a different pediatrician stand in. I told my pediatrician that I was in pain, I had been having these symptoms, and she checked me for scoliosis, but she didn't see anything. But she thought that we should get an x-ray just in case. So I think screening for scoliosis is important because it's not only important to be able to look at someone's body physically, but also to use tools like a scoliometer to get measurements, because when my pediatrician looked at my body, she said that I looked straight, like no one would be able to tell that I had scoliosis. So if I hadn't gotten an x-ray or without something like a scoliometer reading, you wouldn't have been able to tell. And getting screened for scoliosis early is important so kids can wear a brace or do physical therapy or find ways to manage it when their curvature degree is less, because as your curvature degree progresses, you might have to turn to options like surgery. And another reason why getting screened early is important is just because it allows you to put a label on what you're going through, because it's very disorienting and difficult, especially when you're a kid and you're going through this and you don't know why you're in pain, or you don't know why you're shorter than you were before, or you don't know why your body looks different. So being able to put a name to what you're going through makes your diagnosis and your experience less scary and allows you to manage it.
Amazing. And So you did get this surgery later on, so you were able to do that, but you said it did cause you a little bit more pain afterwards, and it wasn't exactly what you were expecting. Is this something that can happen if you are if you get screened a little later rather than earlier, or is this something that happens often?
Well, when I was diagnosed with scoliosis and, I told my doctors that I was in pain, my doctors told me that scoliosis wasn't supposed to cause pain. So scoliosis looks very different for everyone. We all go through different things. Some people have to have surgery, some people have to wear a brace, some people need to do physical therapy or yoga. But I think it's just there are some symptoms and signs that are universal, like emotional signs, like feeling different from other people, or just like not knowing why this is happening to you, and just like the concept of having your spine being curved or your spine being rotated is something that's really unique to scoliosis. So I mean, this is just my journey, this is just what happened to me, but everyone's scoliosis journey can look very different. So I think that's why it's important to have events like this, because it raises awareness for scoliosis and how it affects us differently, affects kids differently, but I think it can still unite people in a positive way.
And I think one last thing that I want to talk about is the yoga workshop and the physical therapy workshops that you guys are doing. How does this impact people who have scoliosis, and how do those types of things help?
Well, I've been doing yoga and physical therapy since I was diagnosed with scoliosis, and it has been very helpful for me because it taught me a lot about my body, how my curved and rotated spine affects my body, and ways that I can help straighten it and strengthen my body. And I think working with a physical therapist and working with a yoga instructor just brings another person in my corner. It feels like I have another person who's able to understand me and support me through my scoliosis journey. So I think having people, even more people in your life who know what you're going through, who understand you and want to help you is really, really important. Another reason why yoga and physical therapy was really important to me is because it connected me to the wider scoliosis community. I was able to become friends with a lot of kids with scoliosis through physical therapy and yoga, and it just opened my community up to more people that I can relate to, more people that can help me, and more people that I can talk to about what I'm going through.
Amazing. Is there anything else? I know you're so well spoken and you've mentioned so many things. Is there anything else you want to mention that you think we've missed so far?
Well, I would just like to say, please come to this symposium if you are available. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to connect to the community, to learn more about scoliosis as well, because scoliosis can happen to any child. Scoliosis can affect anyone, and I think knowledge can empower everyone. Learning more about different conditions like scoliosis is great, for you, because you can now know to get screened for scoliosis, or tell your friends or your family to get screened for scoliosis. And if you know anyone with scoliosis, you can better understand them, support them, and help them manage their condition.
One last thing I wanted to ask. Do you have a message for young people out there who might have scoliosis, might be undiagnosed or diagnosed, that might help them feel better?
Well, my message for kids who have scoliosis, whether you have scoliosis or not, whether you're diagnosed or not, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's so many kids out there with scoliosis. Scoliosis is a lot more common, than I've realized. And I think it's very hard, having scoliosis. It's very isolating. It's very difficult to get to a place where you've embraced your condition, where you're, okay with wearing your brace, or you're okay with attending, physical therapy. But you're not alone. There's so many people out there that can help you. There's so many kids who want to find other people with scoliosis to, connect with them.
Yes.
There's so many people you can reach out to, your family, your friends, your doctor, physical therapist. There's so many people out there who want to help you. And I think embracing your scoliosis, or being confident enough to say I have scoliosis to your friends, your classmates, is really important, because educating people about the condition can help them reevaluate any misconceptions they may have about scoliosis and treat other kids with scoliosis in a more kind way. So don't be afraid of scoliosis. It's not, in my experience, I've realized that scoliosis isn't a weakness. It hasn't held me back. It's only made me a more compassionate person, and it's allowed me to view the world in a better way, and it's only made me realize how resilient and strong I am. And you are resilient and strong too.
Amazing, amazing words. You are so well spoken for such a young woman. I really appreciate your time here today, and unless there's anything else you want to add, I think I'm all set.